Are you ready to take your organization to the next level and become a game changer in your industry? Then look no further. Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, where we bring you the world's top business thought leaders to share their secrets to success, from leadership development to finance, marketing, self-development, human resource management, and much, much more. Our guests reveal the strategies, tactics, and mindsets that have made them so successful. So let's dive in and learn from the best in the business. Hello and welcome back to another very special episode. Look, I'm so grateful that you're here today and you are taking time out to educate yourself, develop yourself, and become better through listening to experts like the expert we have today. This is remarkable. You and I are kindred in spirit because we want to improve every single day. And I honor you for that. And I can't wait to hear your success story after listening to this episode. Now, let me ask you a question. Who doesn't want to know the tips, the tricks, and the secrets of the trade when it comes to this area? I don't know anybody. I think everybody wants to know the shortcuts to getting things done, to getting to the goals faster without losing your life, or losing your mind, or even stressed out, or even losing your family. So you stay tuned today and discover exactly what those tips, the tricks, and the secrets in this area today. Now, before I introduce our guest, I want to remind you of the two trainings we've got ready already for you in the community. Number one, our training on how to start, scale, and monetize your podcast training and consulting aspect of it is already ready for you. So if you want to know how to do these things, how to grow your podcasting, how to monetize your podcast, or even just simply to start, we've got you covered. And remember, we've been doing this since 2015. So we've got what works right now, not what used to work, what works right now. So I'm super excited about that. And the second thing I'm excited about and want you to check out, it is a Trevor Stockwell's leadership training. And I know that it is going to help you if you want to streamline your leadership or just want to have a strategy call with Trevor. By the way, Trevor is my business partner. I've known the gentleman, again, since 2005, so many years. And, we've been working together for a good number of years. So I know the stuff that he teaches. I know that he lives and breathes this leadership stuff. So we want you to have access to that. And finally, if you're not yet a member of our community, you want to be part of the community, because at the end of our episode, the conversation that we are starting here will carry on in our community. And we want you to be there so you don't miss out. All right. Enough of that. I love, telling you what we are doing, but I'm more excited right now to listen in and learn from our guests today. Isn't that great? I know, it's brilliant. Well, there you go. Thank you so much, by the way, for joining us here. And for those who haven't yet come across your work and who don't know who you are, would you tell us a little about yourself, introduce yourself, maybe in terms of your background, your education, and your experience? A lot of people want to know, how you got started, what are you doing right now in this area, what sort of people you're helping. If we could cover all these things right now, that would be amazing.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on. This is a real honor. So just so people can know, my pronunciation of the name is Chananya. That's Chananya Abraham. So I am a psychotherapist and I am based in Connecticut, United States of America. I got started probably about 16 years ago is when I first entered school. I have two different masters. I have a master's in human services and I have a master's in psychology. And I have just deferred, I think it's for the sixth year, on finishing my PhD from the New School of Social Research in New York City. I have had experience working with substance abuse and addictions, which is the world that I got started in. And I have been working in a private practice setting for the past 8 years now. And it has been a whirlwind of an experience. I think as a psychotherapist, they do not teach us how to be business laymen. And that's something that has been a real experience for me. I am really far from being an overnight success. I think it's still a work in progress. And I think for the most part, I don't even know what it is that I don't know. There's so many things to be thinking about and processing when it comes to being a therapist, how to take payments, whether you want to deal with insurance, how to have communication, how to collect from insurances, private pay, what do you charge? How do you charge people? When do you charge? There's so many different things and how to set your fees that it's, I think, important to stay organized. It's important to be transparent, speak to the lawyers and professionals that are necessary so that you can be set up for yourself in the best way possible to have the proper practice that you need.
Amazing. Clearly, you are not a new kid on the block, really. You've been at it for a long time. So let's dive deep and begin to talk about this subject. So, what is a tip you wish someone had shared with you in the areas right when you got started? Maybe expand it in terms of why this tip was so valuable and the best way for business owner to put this tip into action. And if there's any tools or websites or even apps that any first time user may be able to access. And maybe if they got stuck in implementing this tip, what can they do today to get unstuck? I know there's quite a few questions there, but if we could expand on this as detailed and logical as we possibly can, that'll be truly amazing for all those who are taking notes right now.
I would say that one of the biggest tips that I can give for any therapist looking to go out on their own and not be part of either a clinic or a group practice and wanting to work for themselves by themselves is to know what you're getting yourself into. Research and be on top of what it is you're going to be doing, how you plan on obtaining new clients, retaining clients, how you're going to be storing all the information, making sure that you have an LLC set up, you have the proper insurances, making sure that you have communication set up, and that you speak to any parties necessary to make sure that your contracts are transparent. They lay out how you go about fees, how you go about booking appointments, how you go about communication, and making sure that you're able to really be on top of things with the minimum amount of man hours used. So having setups, I think different countries have different ways of going about this and making sure that you're on top of things. At least here in America, you want to make sure that you speak to if you want to get paneled with insurance, because we don't have state insurance. I mean, we do, and you can be a therapist that takes state insurance, but a lot of people in private practice don't take state insurance here, and there's nothing really funded from the government. We have private insurances, so you want to be paneled with the right insurances. You want to make sure that you have people's credit cards on file for copays. You want to make sure that people know what the fees are for no-show or if they show up late and how that works. You want to be as transparent as possible. I think for at least here, one of the best websites, and there are a few, I know there's a big one out there called Therapy Notes. The one that I've been using, I've been very happy with, is something called Simple Practice, which is a phenomenal way to have communication in a secure way with your patients, with your clients, making sure that information is out there, whether they're minors, whether they're adults. You can get parents involved as well. Healthy communication, good communication in a HIPAA compliant setting. You want to make sure also that you're able to store credit card information and they can deal with insurances. So that's a website that I would recommend. If you want to deal with out-of-network services, so in private pay insurances, let's say here in America, a lot of insurance have something that's known as out-of-network services. So even if I'm not paneled with insurance, someone can still bill their insurance for me. They take care of it themselves. There are a few different websites that can help with this. The one that I'm familiar with, that I've worked with in the past, is called Advocate, ADVKIT. And they assist with making sure that all of the paperwork is taken care of for the client so that they are able to send insurance information out when you're not billing for an in-house therapist. So let's say there's an insurance that's called Champion, and I'm not paneled with them, but I'm seeing someone that I am charging for, and they want to be able to get reimbursed from their insurance. So what I would do is I would send them a bill, and then insurance would send them payment back, or probably somewhere between 50 and 80% back of what it is that I would charge for outside of being in-network. And I think there's no such thing as getting fully stuck and say, I can't do this. I look at it as sort of one of those like Roomba robotic vacuum cleaners, is that even if it hits a dead end, it keeps on hitting until it changes angles and then it starts going another way. And I think when it comes to when you have your own business, it works the same way. This may not work. That may not work. If you have a website and you don't like the developer, going out there to find another place or another person, going on to Fiverr and trying to find the thing that works for you. There are so many things out there that there's no such thing as, oh, well, I hit a dead end, so therefore I can't do anything else. There is something else that you can do.
It's awesome. That is incredible. I certainly wish I knew this tip right before I got started. But then, this is what happens. You discover these things as you go. Let's dive deep and talk about a trick now. What is a cool trick, perhaps, you have figured out or discovered in this area that would really help business owners like me in our audience to get things done? Maybe in this area we could talk about how to, the best way to implement this trick, really any tools available right now that people can use, and how long the trick can take to implement. And of course, if people are stuck in implementing this, what can they do today to get them out of that dreaded place where they're stuck? And I know we can do that.
That's a great question. So when it comes to tips and tricks, I think the most important thing as a psychotherapist is knowing who you are. What is your niche? What's the clientele? What's the community that you're dealing with? How do you want to present yourself? What type of client would be best for you? What do you enjoy working with? If you want to go out on your own, there has to be a certain level of confidence that's even more so than when you're working in a clinic, because you have to sell yourself. You have to be able to be in a place where, oh, I want to go see this guy. He's someone that I would love to help out with this type of an issue. So know who you are, know what your expertise is, know where you're going to find this client, and really hone in on that. The more specific of a niche you can have, the better it'll be for you to find that client. So whether you're looking through Google Ads or you're looking on social media, know where you're going to find this type of client. And I think that's also one of the ways that if you're stuck, okay, let me go somewhere else. If you're trying a certain avenue of social media, try another one. If let's say you're working with someone that is trying to help you out the website and it's not working, switch to someone else. Most places nowadays, it's so competitive that you don't have to be, you're not tied down to anyone specific that oh, I have to be with this person for the next year. Most places are by month basis, whether it's for website, whether it's for how you advertise, whether it's for marketing, social media marketing, website development. There's so many different options out there. Whether even if it's your EHR, like we talked about before, regarding simple practice or therapy notes, Caraco, there's so many different options out there. It's really finding the one that works for you. I mean, one of the phrases that I talk about a lot when it comes to therapy in general is finding the therapist that works for you is like finding a house, a spouse, or a pair of shoes. And you have to sometimes try on a few to find the one that works for you. And I think therapy works the same way. So I think that's really important that you know who you are, be comfortable, be confident in it, and that'll be very, very helpful.
I hope, Bill, you're getting this because I'm finding this very, very useful. And I'm hoping that we are also taking notes on this as well. Let's dive deep into talking about the secret now. We've covered the tips and we've covered the tricks. And now let's talk about this secret. What is the secret? Every business owner needs to know when it comes to this area. Why is it so important? And why is it secret? And why don't we or don't many people know about it? Really, why don't I know about it? Well, I wouldn't know if it was not a secret, but we want to explore more about this so that a lot of people will be helped, and also talk about the tools. I always want to talk about tools because I've discovered that for everything that you do, you can do better when you've got the right tools. So, would you help us in this area, please?
I'll be honest, I don't see there being any sort of secret, but know who you are. Know who you are as a therapist. Know who you are as an individual and the people you want to work with. And if you want to be able to be confident in that, when you're confident in that, then you'll start seeing your practice really take off, because now you're in a place where it's not just about, oh, I'm a therapist, I went to school and I have a lot of letters before or after my name. No, it's about you. So you want to be able to sell yourself. But in order to sell yourself, you have to be able to be confident in who you are. I would highly recommend every therapist have a therapist. Have someone that you can talk to about how things are working within you. How are you being affected by the clientele that you're dealing with? How are you being affected about the stressors of a job? And if you have a family, how does that come into play? And I think having someone to talk to is really, really, really important. We've talked about some tools and websites before, but I think going out there and seeing what works with other people is important to see what might work for you. But just remember, just because something works for someone else doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So be comfortable. Like I remember being trained on a Mac computer, and to be honest, I never felt comfortable with it. When I switched to a Windows computer, and now I use a Surface, I'm so happy. I know it's a small little detail, but it makes a difference. And you have to do what works for you. There's no rule that says this is what you have to do. This is the way you have to do it. This is the way you have to get your clients. This is how you're supposed to write your notes. Obviously, there's guidelines regarding how to write your notes and how to keep them safe and secure. But really, it's you as a person that you have to decide what it is that you want and how you want to go about doing it. And there is no time of how long it takes because it really depends on you. It really depends on who you are and what you do. And even if you get stuck in something, it's like, okay, so what else can I try? Something that I talk about in my office a lot, and I guess this applies here too, is the concept of ABC, the moment. Always be curious. What do you need to do? If let's say you have a scaled practice, you're seeing, somewhere between 20, 25 people a week, and you're making some amount of money. Okay, so what do I need to do if I want to make more money? What do I need to do so that I can have more time for myself? What do I need to do when I want to take a holiday or vacation? ABC, the moment. Always be curious. Think about the question. Sometimes the question is more important than the answer.
This is great. We are actually coming toward the end of our time here together. But the good news is this conversation doesn't end here. We'll carry it on in our community, which I'm excited about. And again, if you're not yet a member of our community, you want to go and join the community so you can carry on with the conversation. Coming back to you. Are there any other juicy tips, tricks, and secrets at this point that you feel business owners like me can benefit from knowing them?
I'll be honest, when it comes to juicy tips, I think it's really about knowing who you are as a therapist. There are no secrets when it comes to being a good therapist, except for knowing who you are and being in therapy yourself. I think the more you take care of yourself and have self care really, really down packed, the more helpful you'll be able to be to the people around you, i.e., your clients as well. And possibly the bigger your practice can grow. Because if you're not in a good place yourself, your business won't be in a good place. And if your business is not in a good place, you won't be able to attract new clients. So take care of yourself.
And finally, is there anything I haven't asked you today about this area and that you think, you know what? Knowing what I know now and with what is happening out there, this will be a great tip or a great trick or a great secret to share with our knowledge or our community. Would you share that with us today?
So we've talked about self-care. We've talked about having a therapist. We've talked about being confident and having a niche. I think something else that's very important when it comes to being a therapist is having a healthy balance and boundaries about who you are as a person, individual, as a spouse, as a parent, and who you are within your office. And you might meet some of your clients in the grocery store. You might meet them on train or a subway. How are you going to react? And who are you? And making sure that you don't bring your work home. Separate your life. Make sure you have a separate way of being who you are so that things don't overlap and you don't have burnout. I think that's probably one of the most important things that I can think of here.
Wow. What do you think, Bill? This has been great. I absolutely love what we have discovered here today. And I will certainly be listening to this myself over and over and over again, because repetition, it is what is going to get these things cemented in us. So once again, thank you so much for a great interview. And I never want to finish off our conversation without giving you an opportunity to share your website or your social media handles with our community, because I know for a fact there will be people who wants to connect with you directly in that way, or even a book for a strategy session or even for a call with you so that you can start that journey with them. So could you tell us a little bit about your website or your social media handles so that we can connect you with you in that way?
So my website is Cuyah Therapy. That's CYUAH therapy.com. You can get more information on myself, my podcast. I run a podcast called Parenting is Easy that talks about parenting. And on the website, you can get more contact information and book an appointment. And there are some other leads that you can have there regarding certain specific topics when it comes to parenting and how to take care of yourself. So that's CYUAH therapy. That's CURtherapy.com.
Excellent. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a great conversation, truly. Great tips, great tricks, and secrets in this area. We are truly blessed, really, to have an opportunity to discover these things now, and that will help us in our business now and in the future. Now, as you can tell, we did not cover everything. We barely scratched the surface. And this conversation is going to carry on in the community, and like we always do with our other recordings. So we want you, if you're not yet a member of our business community, and that is Yeukai Business Community, we want you to click the link below so you can create an account for yourself. Download the app on your phone. Works exactly like WhatsApp or Facebook. Just go in there and you will be taken care of, and ask any questions. Don't be a spectator, just participate, and you will get more out of this than if you were just watching by the sideline. This is going to be great. So click the link below and join the community. And I know my guests, all of my guests, in there helping people as well beyond our time on the podcast here today. So until next time, as we always say, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly, truly yet to come. I truly believe that with all my heart, and that's why I keep saying it, and I know it's the same thing for you, to live well, love on your family, love on your relative, love on those that you get the opportunity to live with. And live with passion, don't hold back, live to the full. Whatever gift you have been given, whatever opportunity you've been given, live fully. And remember, the best is truly yet to come. Life may be difficult for you perhaps right now, or maybe things are not working out the way you want them to be right now. But believe me, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And keep coming back into these areas, and figuring out what is working and communicating with other people. You will get out of it stronger and more powerful, and you're going to help other people do extremely well. I'm very proud of you for taking time to be here. In fact, I know you and I are kindred in spirit. We are truly out there, want to develop ourselves and make something out of ourselves and be great contributors in all way around. Now, I know I'm going over, but listen, I am rooting for you. I know all my guests are rooting for you. My team is all rooting for you. We want you to succeed. So live well, live with passion. Know that the best is yet to come. See you in the community today or over the next few weeks from now. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to Yeukai Business Show. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode and have gained valuable insight and inspiration from our amazing guest. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review to help us spread the word. Also, be sure to check out our Leadership Ultimate Success Mastermind program, which is designed to help you and leaders in our community to do great things and support each other along their leadership journey. Until next time, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come.